Is Siege dead? Well, there are two ways to answer that question inside my head, right? But first, let me start with, was Siege ever revived? Some argue that Jinxie brought Siege back to life. Now, when I say that, do I mean that he had any input on what the devs did? Did he have any input on how Ubisoft treated the game? Did he have any input or say on new patches and bug fixes and things of that nature? No. But did he bring an overwhelming amount of players to the game? Sure. Did he revive the player counts there for a little bit? Absolutely. So is Siege dead? On one side, yes. On the other side, no. On one side, with the streamers, yes. If you know anything about the streaming community for Siege right now, there are a bunch of creators stepping away. Most notably, Jinxie, the guy who has been claimed with reviving Siege. He's stepping away, and I don't think he's ever coming back. Now, he might come back once the new patch notes drop in year 11, but that's still a good solid 3 months away, just about. We have a long way to go before we even begin to see some of the changes they're talking about. A second notable streamer is Yo Boy Roy. He's huge. I mean, he's one of the best castle mains in the game. He genuinely made content that was funny. He showed people the comedy side of Siege almost, while being an excellent player. While using these harebrained strats against top 500 champions, he was able to show people that the game is still entertaining to watch. You have people like Marley, who is slowly transitioning to different content. Sure, he still plays Siege. Sure, he still waffles around in quick matches, and that may never change, but Marley is moving to a different sense of content in the same way that most of these creators are. So is Siege dying? Yes. On the streamer and influencer and content creation side of things, I would say yes. Siege is dying. Now, where I say no, Siege is not dying, is on the Pro League side. Obviously, players like Stompin, who was once in the Jinxieverse, but now is obviously in Pro Rainbow Six Siege, he's not leaving the game anytime soon. Players like Spoit, Canadian, Hot and Cold, a few that I can name off the top of the head. I mean, I can go through rosters if you really want me to. I mean, I believe Shaiko just came out of retirement to put everybody in their place. It is obvious to me that when it's split down the side, you have, yes, the game is dying for content creators and people of that nature, and no, the game is not dying due to its simple Pro League. Now, if you know anything about Pro League, it's one of my favorite things to watch. It's one of my favorite things to see a highly strategic and teamwork game be played at that level. They're using strats that, quite honestly, don't exist anywhere else in the game. And if you know anything about Pro League, you'll know that there are several leagues, from the Europe League to the NA League to the South American League and things of that nature. And then you have the international stage. And with the international stage, the Munich Major is going live. The Munich Major is one of my favorite things to watch. Now, personally, I am cheering for Shopify Rebellion. That is a team that is partly owned by Moist Critical, and Spoit plays on Shopify Rebellion. Spoit is one of my favorite players. I will say that until the end of all days. Is he better than Stompin? I'd say so. Now, is Stompin's team necessarily better than Shopify Rebellion? I would say that Shopify Rebellion could use a couple upgrades on their roster, but overall, yes. G2 is better in all sense, considering they won the NA League. You know, it kind of lets everybody know that they're better. Now, what am I doing today? I'm simply voting on the Munich Major. Right. This is the Swiss phase, so it's kind of like the play-ins. Right now, you have first and second team to win 3 matches, third, fourth, and fifth team to win 3 matches, and sixth, seventh, and eighth team. So if you pay attention to the bracket, we start with all of these teams, right? You then separate into the winners and the losers. And then again, you separate into the top 4 winners, the bottom 4 losers, the mid 4 winners, and the mid 4 losers. Moving on, you then get a second chance play-in spot, and I mean, it goes all the way down to the finals. Now, I'm here to predict, essentially. I kind of wanted to talk more about Siege, but that will be later on for the video. Some ideas I have on how they fix the game. Right. So we're going to start with the first and second team. I genuinely see Shopify Rebellion being one of the top 2 teams in this tournament. I see Shopify Rebellion and I see G2. After that, I see Furia, because Furia is a great team. If you don't know them, you should definitely go watch some of their highlights. They are fantastic at Siege. Great team. They pretty much win a lot. I think there was one year where they won every tournament and they just dominated every scene. Every tournament that they played, they won. So that's kind of crazy. FaZe Clan, made up of a Brazilian team. I guess most of the players, I believe, are Brazilian. They are fantastic. They are a great team to watch, a fun team to watch. Great chemistry. Definitely check them out. I would definitely like to say Team Falcons. Falcons are making uprise. I think Falcons have a good chance at winning. Let's see here. 6th, 7th, and 8th. I want to say M80, but M80's problem, if you watch FET, you know that they're a slow starter. So that's kind of why I'm giving them the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot, because in tournaments they tend to start slow and speed up as the tournament ends. They never really do that good in the beginning, but somehow they always make it, and they did great. So I will put M80 as 6th, 7th, and 8th. Technically, they're in the 6th spot right here. My 7th team, I like SSG, but I think Ninjas in Pajamas take it. And then I want to put Space Station on there. And I think I am going to put Space Station on there. I think the top 8 teams that qualified for finals: Shopify Rebellion, G2, Furia, FaZe, Falcons, M80, Ninjas, and Space Team. So, the way this works, if I get all of these teams right, then I get 8 points. And I believe if I get them all right in these boxes that I've put them in, I get another 8 points. And that allows me to essentially earn 16 points, which puts me at Emerald, which is 3 legendary packs plus all of this. So in total, I'll get 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 packs in an MP5 skin. Can't complain there. I'm not sure how you get the 19 and 23 points. I think that's everything that, like, you have to win everything, I'm pretty sure. So I think there's a total of 16 points here, and I believe once the tournament starts, they'll give you a chance to keep voting and kind of pick how you think it's going to go. But like I said, top 8 teams for me: Shopify Rebellion, Furia, Falcons, Pajamas, G2, FaZe Clan M80, and SSG. Now, to get into the meat and potatoes, how to fix Siege, right? I think to fix Siege, you completely remove the Ranked 2.0 update. This is a popular opinion. When Ubisoft introduced Grim, they introduced Rank 2.0. Now, Rank 2.0 is a hidden MMR system with a participation trophy visible rank. Your visible rank, although you might be champ, gold, bronze, copper, whatever you may be, your visible rank does not mean anything. You could have a 5 stack of coppers that were previous season champs And the game sees that, the game understands that you're a champ, and they will put you against top 500 champs. I think that is baloney, and I think it quite honestly should be done away with. Now, in year 11, they have promised a rank overhaul. Your visible rank will mean something again. And I think that's the first step in the correct direction. 2, I think that while the defender should not have the ACOG, I think that they should bring back the 1.5 for defenders only, right? I don't think it makes too much sense. Like, I get it. They took the ACOGs away because they wanted us to play more strategic, but then they decided to leave the ACOGs on the DMRs and shotguns, two weapons that already were kind of problematic, and now they're extremely problematic. I mean, we're in a DMR meta right now. I play a Rooney and Tube more than I've ever played them in my life. Just simply because the DMR with ACOG. You can hit people twice in the body and it drops them. So I say remove all ACOGs, give defense 1.5, give attackers ACOG. That works. I think that fixes it in my head. The third thing I would do, get rid of dual front. I think with the addition of dual front, they have started to try and make Siege something that it is not. Something that is no longer Siege, right? Siege has always been this 5v5, attack and defend, search and destroy with 1,000 more steps to it. And for them to introduce a 6v6 respawn game mode with multiple objectives and changing objectives, I get where they're going. They kind of wanted to make an active kind of like battlefield environment. They wanted to make it kind of like a team deathmatch with more steps almost. It doesn't work, right? In theory, sounded awesome. In theory, yes, it works perfectly fine, and Dual Front is a great game. In practice, Dual Front is horrible. I have not enjoyed playing a single game of Dual Front at all, ever. And the fact that Ubisoft, before giving up the creative rights to Vantage Studios, the fact that they were dumping more and more resources into Dual Front with every patch that came out and kind of ignoring the base game upsets me. Upsets me to a point where for a while I thought about quitting Siege. I really did. And I know people are out there like, oh, no one knows who you are. Quit Siege if you want to. But for me, I've been playing Siege since the open beta in late 2015, early 2016. It is now 2025, heading into 2026. I have played the game for a better half of a decade. Let that sink in for a second. Think about what you were doing 10 years ago. Me, I was playing Siege. That's how much I love the game. That's how much I'm willing to stick around and see what happens. Once they released Grim, it was game over in my opinion. While Grim not being the problem, the introduction of Rank 2.0 was kind of like the beginning of the coffin getting nailed shut. Kind of like the end of Siege, in my opinion. Now, granted, I still played it. I've played it now for 3 years with Rank 2.0, and if Rank 2.0 is telling me I'm a high gold to early plat, then so be it. But I know I'm better than that. And the fact that I'm playing high diamonds, and sometimes I've even seen champs in my lobby, tells me that I'm better. But because I don't have a crazy 5 stack that, just breezes through the games, I can't make it anywhere. Solo queuing is dead. You solo queue, you get brain dead teammates and people who don't know how the game works. And so Siege died, right? The fact that the cheaters are out of control With the new release on the new engine, cheaters were supposed to be taken care of. Cheaters were promised that, with the introduction of Mousetrap, things will get better. Things have only started to get better recently, but they're not better as a whole. They're not better as a group, right? Siege is still in one of the worst states it has ever been. And I pray that in year 11, seasons 1 and 2, they pull their head out of the sand. They realize that Siege got ranked number 52 out of top 100 games out right now. They realize that the player base and the fan base is so dedicated to this game that if they just listened to us and implemented the changes and reverted some changes, Siege would flourish. Siege would go crazy. Siege would get to the point that I think it could be top 10 game of all time. I think it could dethrone Battlefield. I think it could dethrone Call of Duty. I think it could dethrone Halo. I think it could genuinely dethrone most FPS games if Ubisoft were to figure out what's going on. Because it seems like with every change, they're trying to push more and more people away from the game. And that should not be the primary focus, but it sure feels like it. It sure feels like they do not care. It feels like they're here to collect $1. They promise something, never deliver, and we're constantly stuck in this loop. So I hope, like I mentioned, in season 11, year 11, season 11, whatever it is, I hope that things are actually going to get better. Because I don't want to put down 10 years of my life. I don't. I love the game. It was such a good concept, and now it has lost its identity. It is having an identity crisis, and that feels strange to say. It is no longer our beloved tactical FPS. People don't use comms anymore. The teamwork is not there. You'll have 5 people attacking the same site from 9 different angles and lose and then complain. I get it. Some of the things can simply be fixed by the player base just working together again. But why, when it's more beneficial to play Ash and run into site and get 2 of them and maintain a 1.3 KD and sit in gold, than it is to work with a team and get to champ? I don't feel the need to grind anymore. I don't feel the want to grind anymore. I log on for a couple of games, get steamrolled by a 5-stack who's been playing all night, and I want to get off. I go play a different game, a game that I have fun playing, right? People mention the skill gap in Siege, and it's not about the skill gap for me. It's genuinely that I'm not having fun anymore. So, if they were to fix the game and I start having fun again, then it's a different story. But what are some changes you want to see? What are some things that you want to happen in the game? What are your predictions for the Munich Major? And do you think Siege is dead? Let me know in the comments down below. This has been The Kevin Show. If you've made it this far, please like, subscribe, and again, comment down below and get ready for the next episode. You guys have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. Deuces.